Yo, what up? It's your boy Jeffrey, aka Papa J, and you are tuning in to another episode of Just Talking with Jeffrey. Let's go. Yo, what up, man? Listen, you are tuning in to another episode with your boy Papa J, and back at it, back with me. I got my boy Elo Speaks. Say what up to the people.
Hey, what's up? Thanks for having me. I'm glad to be back. Talk about the sports, all the latest stuff that's happening, all the craziest happening with AB, Aaron Rodgers, Kyrie Irving, and etc.
Man, listen, that's gonna be some heavy stuff, man. Last time we left off a couple of things, man, because we didn't get the chance to get into it, and I hope we are able to get into everything today.
No doubt.
But man, listen, like you said, it's gonna be some crazy stuff, man. So I hope y'all stay tuned. But before we get into the good stuff, listen, y'all see it at the bottom, just talking with Jeffrey, man. Go follow, subscribe, do all that. And your boy Elo Speaks, man. All his stuff flashing down at the bottom. Go do the same. Go show my boy support. Elo Speaks, YouTube, Spotify, anywhere you can find him, man. Go and do that, man. Go like I said, support your boys, support your boys. Um,
Yeah, man.
but as we man, go ahead, man.
No, I was just saying, follow me on YouTube, Anchor, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and I have a Twitch account as well on Elo Speak, so you can follow me there as well.
Man, I ain't gonna lie, I gotta try to get into that Twitch business, man. I don't
Yeah, you
fully
really
get it
should.
yet, but I'm gonna get into Twitch, man.
Yeah. Trust
But
me, show up an account, really useful.
all right, man. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do that. But man, listen, as we get into it, man, let's jump. I wanted to talk AB first, but AB is a different breed of people. So we gonna,
AB is
because
a
like I
topic
said,
on his
that's
own.
that's on his own, So we're gonna jump into, we're gonna go backwards. We're gonna go backwards. We're gonna start in the NBA, and I mean it's still early on. So, the MVP race is forever fluid. It's going to be fluid week after week because I think when we started this all, um, who would you say was on top out of the ones that were on top?
At the time when we did the last podcast, Kevin Durant kind of edged Curry as the number one to like win the MVP, but then Kevin Durant got into health and safety protocols, so that put Curry back into the MVP race. But now that Kevin Durant's back, Curry kind of having a little like shooting slump right now. But now out of nowhere, Giannis Antetokounmpo came out of nowhere and kind of edged both of them in the MVP race. And you already know Nurkic, my apologies, Nikolai Jokic, he's playing unbelievable. So he's putting himself in the MVP race. So is anybody's like MVP right now? Is up for grabs.
Man, and you know what's so crazy about that? I'm not gonna lie. So as I look at the latest standings, right? So let me tell you what the order is based on what the NBA had put out more recently, right? So, like you just said, you got Giannis at 1, you got KD at 2, you got Jokic at 3, you got Embiid quietly at 4. I'm not gonna
Hmm.
lie, I haven't heard
Dark
anything
horse.
from Embiid, but he's at 4.
He's a
And
dark
then you
horse.
got Curry at 5, right? So they got a total of 10 people, but the next 5, whatever's not really whatever's. They're doing their thing. DeRozan, I'm not gonna lie, he could sneak into that. He could sneak
Yep.
into that.
Yep. I forgot about him too.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, DeRozan. They got right now. They got DeRozan at 6. LeBron is at 7. Chris
Yeah.
Paul at
LeBron
8.
James been playing good.
Yeah, he is. I ain't gonna lie. I looked at his numbers recently. I mean, I think he's only had one game less than 30 points. He was at 26. And I was like, yo, that's crazy. Um, but you got Gobert at 9, and then you got Ja at number 10,
Job been playing
which is
unbelievable.
it's a good list. I'm not gonna lie, this is a good list, and so let's go back to what you said earlier about Steph, regressing. Listen, I don't know if this is going to help his MVP cause or it's just going to help the team overall. But I just got a report earlier today that Clay coming back.
Yep, he's
Clay
playing
is
tomorrow.
officially returning. He is
Yeah,
officially returning. And from what Steve Kerr said, he's not returning to a coming off the bench type role. He's coming back into the starting lineup.
he doesn't need to. He he's been playing in the G League with him and Wiseman. So he's been getting good reps, good practicing. So he's been playing against like other competitions. So they're able to slide him back into the lineup. And since he fits so well with their system and style of play, it's gonna be a seamless fit. And it's gonna feel like he never left.
Which is true. And they're what, 29-9 right now.
Yeah,
So they are going to that mesh is going to be there. They're going to be able to gel. Obviously, still going to be able to put up crazy numbers now. I mean, they're putting up crazy numbers without Clay. With him coming back, is going to be even crazier. Um, but on the other side of that, like I said, does this ultimately help? His MVP race, or does it hurt him, Steph? Because listen, he was doing his thing without Clay, without having to. I mean, not to say share the ball. He has been sharing the ball. What is he averaging? Give me a second. Hold on. I think he's averaging like uh he's averaging six assists a game, 6.1 assists a game. Um, I think with Clay coming back, he's definitely going to probably jump up because he got another shooter, like
yeah.
legit shooter on the
He's not
court
gonna
with
get
him.
he's not gonna get double teamed a lot.
Nah, that's definite. And I mean, Steph can kill a double team anyways, so that
Of
doesn't even
course,
matter.
of course.
Um,
Steph Curry's a threat from half court.
yeah, f- f- like this is ridiculous. He's video game
Yeah,
status. He's video game.
yeah.
Like I don't get how he's definitely a walking video game.
As
Uh,
soon as he's from the
but
logo, he's a
I
threat to shoot. That's the scary thing about him.
he definitely is. But I mean, I'm not gonna lie. What's your to be honest, I don't think that's just my opinion. The sports world can have their own opinion, right? Everybody can have their own opinion. But I don't think Giannis should be the number one in the MVP race right now. I just
Neither.
don't.
I
I
still
I
feel like Kevin Durant is still that leading the league in the MVP voting. That's just my personal opinion on the matter. But I can't take away from what Giannis is doing in terms of like playing, and they've been winning. I understand that Brooklyn has a better record than them, up there up by 2 games, but they just recently played the Milwaukee Bucks, and the Milwaukee Bucks were beating them by 20 points. So, and Giannis, of course, had a great game, but I still feel like Kevin Durant is still playing the best basketball I've seen him play since OKC. Since like I'm talking about 2014. So
and that's that. Listen, that is true, right? And so stat wise, right? Giannis is at 27. Let's call it 28 a game, 11 boards a game, 5 assists a game. KD is at 30 points a game, 7 boards and 5 assists a game. Only area Giannis is doing better than KD in is rebounds. And you're talking about wins. Wins matter. And when you talk
yeah,
about somebody like KD who is able to do it by himself without two other all stars,
exactly.
like
I
how
think there
how do
was a
you
game.
not give it to somebody like that?
I think there was a game where Kevin Durant was playing with, I think, like 2, 3 rookies on the team because they got ravaged by health and safety protocols on the
Yes.
team, and he was playing with like rookies on the team. They still won, so you got to give it to him there. Like I'm not saying he's the foregone conclusion MVP, but because things could happen,
Mhm.
he could possibly go on a slump, or anything could happen. But that's like something to look at right there.
True, and I mean that can go for anybody to be honest. But at the end of the day, like I said, I mean that's just my thought. I don't feel that Giannis should be number one. I just have not seen a lot. I mean, the body of work this season to where Giannis should be given that number one. And once again, it's still early on, so there's an opportunity where Kevin, KD may slide, will slide. I'm not gonna lie, it's not no may. He will slide back to the top. Giannis will slide back down to the two. Um,
Yeah,
but I definitely feel like
he's
Giannis
definitely in the conversation.
ain't the number one right now. Yeah, conversation, no doubt. Number one, nah, I can't call that one. I can't call that one. But listen, like I said, this is a fluid race. The season we haven't even gotten to the All Star break yet.
Exactly.
Um,
Yeah.
so things can definitely change, and I mean, obviously, COVID is still a factor. So with everybody going in and coming in and out, protocols, left and right, it could definitely take a toll on players mentally and physically because like man, okay, today we got this guy, tomorrow we may not have him, and next week we may not have him, but we may have this other person back. So how do we ultimately, now listen, at the end of the day, that's the coach's job to manage his roster, but it's also for the players to then be able to get on the court and actually play the game with whoever's on there, play with your teammates. I mean, whoever's on the court at that time. So, but when you talk about people like KD, like I said, this man is doing it with and without, you know, um, James Harden, without Kyrie. So it's like I just feel like this guy should should be listen,
Number
if
one
it
to me.
ended right now, yeah, he should be number one. But I feel like if it ended right now, I honestly think that the edge would, although he is right now number one, but I think, if it ended right now, season ended right now, the edge would go to KD with what he's been able to do with his team. He would definitely get the edge.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that. I definitely agree with that. And that's
So
that to take away
yeah.
from Stephen Curry, DeRozan. They could
Hmm.
possibly be Stephen Curry is definitely top three in the race. He could possibly win it too. I'm not gonna sure how that's gonna look when Klay Thompson comes back. Will his stats stay the same, or will his stats go down because it's gonna give more touches to Klay? And Wiseman coming back, I don't know how that's gonna affect the team dynamics as well. But he's definitely top three in the race to win the MVP. But we're not sure about people like DeRozan and other people that's on the list. They're like they're in the conversation as well. They're just I can see them as dark horses to win the race.
Yeah.
Like they got to be playing
Yeah.
extraordinary.
Yeah. No, you talking about the Bulls would have to be the number one team, in record wise. I'm just like overall, they would have to be the number one team for the rest of the season for
Yeah,
him for DeRozan to be
yeah.
able to like steal that. Because
To
listen,
make a
yes,
strong
they are.
case.
I think they are still ranked number one.
Yeah,
Yeah, they still ranked number one. Yeah, they're ranked number one in the East. At 26-10, they're what, 2.5 ahead of Brooklyn,
yep.
but
And
you still
compared
talk
to
about a team
Milwaukee's
that,
five
I mean, you
losses.
talk about DeRozan versus, yeah, but you're talking about DeRozan who's going up against somebody like KD. MVP wise, now I'm not talking about on the court. I'm talking about MVP race wise. I don't know. That's an uphill battle for DeRozan that I don't think he'll be able to pull off if things were to end right now. Like I said, the team, they would have to be number one all the way through the rest of the year for him to be able to take that number one spot.
Yeah, we don't know how teams are gonna like play or produce after the All Star break. I do see that Chicago is on a strong run right now. In the last 10 games, they're 9-1, so they've been beasting lately. And DeRozan been going
Hmm.
off by making two back to back game winners. which personally I've never seen that before, but that's extraordinary to hear. So it's just strengthening his MVP case. He could shoot up the ladder, but still he has to have me personally. He has to have the points like KD and the efficiency numbers as Giannis and KD to be top five right now.
Yeah, and you know what? So I was talking to somebody the other day about that efficiency. Uh, a lot of people outside of NBA, the MVP voters, don't really look at that. They don't really,
They don't.
think that that's important, but that actually is important.
It
Like,
is.
how efficient are you day in and day out to, get your team not only be able to, get the wins, but then to also get your points. Like, are you going 6-40 or wait 4-20 like your boy Westbrook, or to get are you going 4-20 to get 20 points, or are you going 12 and 18 to get those 20? Like, what are you doing? Like, what is your body of work, from the moment the tip goes off, I mean from tip off to the time the game ends, to end up getting your stats? If you're not efficient, if you're not consistent day in and day out, man, listen, I don't know. And I was like,
I put
whoa,
I put
that makes
efficiency
sense.
heavy. I put efficiency heavy into like who
Hmm.
should be the MVP because when look, Kevin Durant was playing with Golden State, he was getting 30 points under like with 12 shots, 12 of them.
Easy.
Yeah, so
Easy.
when you have somebody like Russell Westbrook, for example, when they played the Brooklyn Nets on Christmas, he went 4 for 20 on the stat sheet. He did good on the stat sheet, but going 4 for 20, missing free throws, turning over the ball at an alarming rate, that's to factor in. Two things that should really like factor in terms of it is player efficiency and plus minus rating. How
Yeah.
effective you were on the court, not just scoring wise, but everything. Like, were you rebounding? Were you passing? Were you defending?
Yeah.
That's something that shows up on the plus minus. If you're being a horrible defender, that's gonna
Yep.
show up on your plus minus. If you're defending, are you getting steals? Are you getting like blocks? Are you defending your opponent to where they're not scoring as efficiently as they were? So that you could take that into effect too. So
Yeah. Big time. Big time. So I mean, listen, it's like I said, it's still early on. You got a lot of things, happening night in, night out. So things can the landscape of the NBA can definitely change. But I'm not gonna lie, I'm excited to see it. And a part of the landscape changing, a lot of people are saying, how does this look over the next couple of weeks, especially, once again, when you're talking about pushing for the playoffs and pushing for home court advantage. The Brooklyn Nets. We talked about it first, that last episode. Kyrie coming back part time.
I
Um,
seen it. He came back
but he's coming back
against
into
the
a
Indiana.
situation where,
He came back against the Indiana Pacers.
yeah, and I mean, listen, did his thing. Is I mean, and I mean, so this is a different. Let's veer off real quick. I just saw something today. KD, oh my gosh, this guy. I don't know what is something in the water, something maybe drinking, smoking. I don't know. This guy says Ki- Kyrie, and this Kyrie is better than AI. I don't know about that.
As an overall player.
I don't. Yeah, I
Uh,
don't know about that. What's your thoughts on that?
there's a case for it to possibly. There's a possible case for it. You gotta put up
No
if you put
doubt.
up if you put up their numbers. I will have to check their numbers side by side to compare them. But I could see how I could see how people will say Kyrie is better than AI. Me personally, I think Kyrie Irving has the best handles in the NBA ever. I've never
Kyrie,
seen somebody. Yeah, I've never seen somebody with a handle package as diverse as Kyrie.
That is
Now,
definite. I am not. I can't put that past Kyrie. Kyrie's handles is sick.
yeah,
Uncle Drew
AI has some
handles
good
are
handles. Yeah,
ridiculous.
AI has some great handles. Don't get me wrong. I don't want to take nothing from AI. He has some great handles, but when it came to Kyrie, he's gonna cross you multiple ways and then lay the ball up. So
So let's
hey,
let's unpack this real quick, so we can get back into everything else, right? So over handles, I'm gonna go to Kyrie. Gonna
yeah,
go Kyrie hands down. Uh, Scoring,
I
I'm not
give
gonna
that to
lie,
AI.
I'm gonna have to go AI.
Yeah,
Scoring, I'm gonna have to give that to AI.
yeah,
Defense,
I'm good at the
I,
AI.
I'm I, I'm a little older, and I've seen a couple of. I've watched a few AI games. I'm gonna have to go defense. I'm gonna have to go AI.
Yeah, I mean, yeah,
Uh, but I mean, you just talking about an overall. Oof, like I said,
yeah,
it's really debatable. That's tough. I would have to see stat for stat, like who,
yeah.
like what
That's why I say you gotta
Kyrie is
compare.
doing, and what AI really did to say who. But like I said,
A
I don't
strong
know. But
case.
listen, you
To play
talking about a
devil's advocate.
teammate, you gassing somebody up.
Yeah, to be devil's advocate for AI, you could make a strong case for AI because AI by himself well, I want to say by himself, but he was able to carry a team into like to the finals to play against the 0-1 Lakers, while Kyrie kind of struggled by himself to like with the Cleveland Cavaliers, but the Cleveland Cavaliers is a really really bad franchise, so that's a hard strike against Kyrie overall because he was trying to make the team go like ascend to playoffs before LeBron James came. But that's a nod on Allen Iverson's a feather in his cap because he was able to
Mm-hmm.
take that team to the playoffs and get a game off the 0-1 Lakers when they were just destroying everyone in the playoffs. They're the only team that had a win
But
against them in the playoffs.
that's true. But listen, I mean, you had also Kyrie was also on Boston, and he couldn't do it there.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
I really just don't feel like AI can carry a team on his own. And I mean, a
AI or
lot of people
Kyrie?
at I mean Kyrie, sorry, Kyrie cannot carry a team on his own.
No, he can't. He
But
can't. He needs.
you look at I mean the landscape of the NBA right now. That's just a lot of players. I mean, a lot of a lot of players are not able to do it on their own, so they join super teams and
Yeah,
whatever it is. It's the way of the NBA right now. But at the end of the day, when you talk about, I mean, now NBA nowadays, honestly, anyways, is soft compared
yeah,
to back in the day. So I don't think you can put any of the NBA players now in what in back in the day teams to say, oh yeah, go out there and win it on your own. It ain't happening. It ain't
yeah.
happening.
That's not happening.
So
Those days are gone.
it, you just talk about, and that this is why I say I don't know. I think I give the edge ultimately to AI because he was in an era where, like, yo, I'm punching you in your mouth, and guess what? You got to get back up to
It's
that
tough.
very same moment. Yeah,
He
you
played in
got
a
to get
tough
back
era.
up right now to play.
The one thing that could that's like a definite like drop the hammer moment, like yo, AI is better than Kyrie, is AI won an MVP and Kyrie didn't.
True, true. So it really speaks to you and tell you, listen, AI is on this terrible team, but he's bringing his team to the playoffs. He's bringing his team to the finals, and like is I mean he's showing why, like, yo, he is that boy. Like I mean Kyrie, I ain't gonna lie, he ain't doing that. He's
Yeah,
showing how he's a cancer. How, like, yeah,
yeah.
hey, listen, I don't want to do this. Okay, well,
But
but
it's just
overall, like I said, he
it's kind of like the wide receiver diva effect, such as AB, which we're gonna
oh
get into
man,
later on. But it's like the bigger the talent, the bigger the headache. You know what I'm trying to say?
that is true. That is true.
So
And
like
I ain't gonna lie. can't stand those type players, but it is what it is.
Yeah, but
You
it's like
gotta if
their talent is worth their weight in gold. So you gonna deal with it.
that it yeah. Well, I don't know about yeah, ABs as well. We'll get to that. We'll get to that. But
Yeah, yeah,
listen, I just really feel, like I said, uh KD was being a really good teammate by gassing up his boy, on his return and saying what he's saying so that he can have that bit of motivation and that bit of,
of
oh
course,
yeah, I'm that guy. Huh? We'll, we'll see though. We'll see.
of
Time will
course.
tell. Listen, he game one back, under his belt. So we'll see. But,
22 points is good.
here's what I was getting to. Yeah, it was good. It was good. He did his thing. But this is what I was getting to earlier, right? So he's coming back, and they got this. They're number two. So right now they're locked for playoffs. I mean, home court advantage in round one. Um, but if they have home court advantage, he cannot play in Brooklyn.
Yeah, he's gonna play on the road
So
games.
he can only play road games,
Yeah,
and that's crazy to think that. Listen, you've worked your way back, right? But you cannot play home games unless you got the PK. We can't say the other stuff, but unless you got the
the
PK,
the jab,
you can't play home games. Yeah, if you ain't got the dab,
the
you can't
jab.
play
Yeah,
home games. So how
he's
how
gonna.
how does that work? Like how that's crazy to me.
So the first two games are gonna be at home. He's gonna have to sit it out, and when they head back on the road against whoever team, like let's just say the playoffs were to finish right now, they will have to play the Toronto Raptors. So
Toronto.
he's
Yep.
yeah, he's going to go to Toronto in game two. I mean game three. My apologies. He'll go to game two, three and four, and then when they head back to Brooklyn, he's not gonna be there, and then he's gonna come back game six. That's if they even go that far. Me
Yeah.
personally, I mean, they should be able to relatively beat the Raptors within five.
I don't know. Well, 5-5, yeah.
Yeah,
But honestly, they would have to pray and play their butts off to get a sweep because uh I mean it's not the same Raptors of the past, but it's still, listen, you can't sleep on any team once it come playoff
you're right.
times.
Of course, of
Like
course, of course.
playoff time, that's when they put their big boy pants on. That's when they say, hey, listen, this is what we really getting paid the big bucks for.
Yeah, in the
So,
playoffs, you're not
they
gonna
finna
be good.
no, so this is what they're not playing just to play against the 15 players on a team. You got to understand, you got the 15 plus that reserve guy or girl by the name of COVID, right? That is a factor. It's not like, all right, playoff time coming around, COVID is not a factor anymore. Nah,
Exactly. Yeah.
COVID is still a factor. So it's like, all right, we can't anticipate that KD or James Harden is going to be, having this to sit because of protocol. Like,
Exactly.
yo, if they have to sit, now you're not only talking about not having one of those two, but you also obviously in Brooklyn not gonna have Kyrie. So now you down two, maybe three of your
And
stars.
he's quote unquote not vax, so he's more susceptible to possibly be pulled for health and safety protocols. So
Correct.
that's a factor
So
in
that's
itself. And
so I just think
they were
that
making they were making jokes about
go
it
ahead.
too. How like there was like,
Hmm.
oh, Jason Kidd might get a 10-day contract, or Dwayne Wade might get a 10-day contract. And Dirk Nowitzki, he had his jersey better raised the other night, and they were talking about, hey, we'll give you a 10-day contract. So that's just how it's looking right now with the health and safety protocol with COVID striking the NBA.
Yeah. It's listen, it's going to be a ridiculous thing to have to sit here and look and see what happens between now and then because listen, like you said, the them being able to gel is one thing. Them being able to like get it, all put together In season is one thing, but in playoff time, when like I said, it really matters. If they have not really gelled enough, it's going to show come playoff time because you only have this guy 2 games, you know. Well, let's say you only have him on the road because you never know. It could be 2, it could be 3 games on the road, or I mean at home that they're there. So you don't know. It could be 4 if they go on 7 games. But it's like, yo, how do we ultimately work this guy into our roster to where come end of the season, rolling into playoffs, we can guarantee that, listen, we don't need this guy game 1 and 2 at home. But on the road, yes, we have him, but we need him to the point where we're closing out the series on the road because we don't want to have to go back home in a game 5 situation and not win it. So it's like,
Yeah,
man, hopefully they can figure that out, but that's just a whole different,
the worst case
dynamic
scenario.
ball game that you got to talk about.
The worst case scenario is if they make it to the Eastern Conference Final or the NBA Finals, and let's just hypothetically say there's a Game 7 that he can't play because the Brooklyn Nets have home court advantage, then the Nets are in trouble. Like let's just keep it a buck. They're in trouble because if there's a Game 7 and he can't play, and they so happen to lose because of that, the media is going to destroy Kyrie, destroy him,
Definitely, definitely,
because they're gonna hold this
and that
against him
sucks.
for the rest of his career. They're gonna be like, you had an opportunity to win an NBA title because you didn't want to get vaxxed, and you decided to not get the job for whatever reason, which is his choice. Like we can't force anybody to do what they don't want to do because I wouldn't want them to do that to me.
Nope.
So I'm not holding that against Kyrie, but the media is not because they've been promoting the job or anything like that. So
hmm I mean, listen. At the end of the day, and Kyrie, I mean, KD actually said it too about he was asked the other day, will you like what do you think about forcing, Kyrie to take the vaccine? He was like, man, yo, listen, I would never want to do something like that. Like, yo, that's that man's personal, beliefs. Um, I can't force him to do something like that. Nobody should force anybody to do something like that. Why?
exactly,
Because that's that man's personal belief. So listen, I stand with him and I agree. And listen, at the end of the day, he a grown man. If the man say no, like, yo, what can you do? If
exactly.
you telling me I'm not gonna have my career because of it, then hey, listen. Oh well. I mean, we talked about that last episode, man. Listen,
Of
so
course,
be
yeah.
it. If
Yeah.
if I'm not able to, then so be it.
I just don't like
So
how the media is making personal attacks at him about his character, about his intelligence, because the comment about the Earth is flat. Like, I feel like that's unnecessary. If he doesn't want to take the jab, he should be cajoled and forced to do it. Like, I understand he has a job as an NBA player, but I'm pretty sure he made enough money where he could potentially retire right now comfortably. He could open businesses. He has sponsorships and endorsement deals where he could
yeah,
be set for life. His family could be set for life. But I do understand the the severity of the situation that the Brooklyn Nets are in striking distance of potentially winning their first ever NBA title. So for their franchise history, so I understand the seriousness there, but it's just a complicated situation because like you don't want to take the job, but at the same time it's like your job is kind of, they're not forcing you to, but they're backing you down into a corner saying we're not gonna pay you money which you need to basically live and survive and take care of your family unless you take that job. So it's like a low level force in a way. You get it?
yeah, yeah. And listen, once again, at the end of the day, you can't force somebody to do something that they don't want to do.
Yeah,
And if that's that person's livelihood and it dictates what's going to happen after that, then hey, you as a person, you got to make that determination on whether or not that's going to hurt you to say, hey, I'm out, or just say, hey, listen, you know what? On to the next. It is what it
Yep.
is. If it hurts me, it hurts me. But I gotta, live right for me and my family.
Yep.
And me not taking this is, what's gonna be right for me. So
Yep.
it is
At
what
the
it
end of the
is.
day, you do what's best for you and your family. Bump what we saying, what the media saying,
Yeah,
what everybody else
that's
saying.
it.
So
Yeah, yeah. Hey, that's once again, that's ultimately what it boils down to.
yep.
But you know, so here's as we listen. Once again, the NBA season. I'm not gonna lie. I'm waiting. I'm ready to see. What's this thing called? All Star break.
Yeah.
Last year they didn't really have. I mean, they didn't have All
They
Star
kind of.
break last year. I don't
I feel like
believe.
the All Star break kind of came and went. They kind of squeezed in everything into like a couple of days
Hmm.
because they didn't want it to stretch out like how it used to be like the past 3 days because they're trying to mitigate COVID as much as possible.
Yeah.
So
I just hope they still have at least the 3-point contest. I ain't too much like whatever. The dunk contest, I prefer
came
to
and went.
really see that.
It came and went
I
last
would
year.
love to
They
see
literally
yeah.
they literally squeezed the dunk contest during halftime of the All Star game.
Yeah, I didn't like that. Now,
Yeah,
so to be honest, I would be okay if they did not have an all-star game. Why? Because I just think that is nothing but fanfare.
yeah,
Like
it's just an NBA
nobody
showpiece.
yeah, that like the main thing should be skills challenges, the dunk contest, the 3-point contest, those sort of things. The game, like they don't really care about that no more. They don't be playing defense. Like they don't really care.
They
Like
don't play defense
if
until like the
the
last couple of minutes.
yeah, and if the end result of the game is whatever winning team gets X amount of dollars for
For
charity,
charity.
yo, just go give the money to the charity. Why do you gotta play for it? Like, yo, all right, listen, the East wanted this to raise money for this charity. The West wanted to raise this money for this charity. All right, here you go. Here go a check to those charities. Like, good luck. I mean, good job. But to have that whole game where once again nobody's actually playing is pointless to me.
Yeah,
So
but
I don't know. I just
you gotta understand though, because we want competitive All Star games like how it used to be back in like in the '90s when Jordan was playing. But at the same time, I don't want me personally. I don't want like as a Miami Heat fan. I wouldn't want Jimmy Butler going hard in the All Star game and he mess around gets injured in a pointless All Star game. Feel me?
and that's what I'm saying. So it's like, well, you know what? Honestly, NBA is a lot more. It's a lot harder for them to get injured than it is in the NFL. So
Yeah,
but then again, the NFL is smart. They don't have their Pro Bowl in the middle of the year. They have it at the end of the year. So if anybody get injured, then well, you got the off season to recover. But the
yeah,
NBA, obviously mid season, anybody get injured, then ooh, good luck. But
exactly.
I just don't, like I said, I don't understand why they still having the All-Star game when at the end of it all nobody's actually playing 100. Like, who cares? Have
Yeah,
the dunk
I hate
contest,
seeing them
have
type
the
of
3-point
stories. Yeah.
contest. Yeah. Like, have the dunk contest and the 3-point contest and call it a day.
Or the skills challenge and the
Um yeah, or the skills challenge and then call it a day. Then call it a day. But I mean, whatever. It is what it is. Like I
yeah,
said, I don't get paid those big bucks to make those decisions. So we'll see. NBA season, let it just continue to unfold, and whatever happens, happens. And we will be here to talk about it. We will
of
be here to
course.
talk about it.
All
So
right, so
let's kind of let's switch gears a bit. Let's switch gears a bit. We talk NBA.
let's get into some
Now
NFL.
let's talk NFL, man. Let's talk some
Yeah.
NFL, man. And listen, like I
One
said,
thing,
AB has to be the last. AB
of
has to be the
course.
last because he's just special, right? We got to give him his attention because I guess other people are not really giving him attention, but other people are giving him a lot of attention. So we're gonna
Yeah.
give him the attention that he deserves.
One topic on the list on the on the list we want to talk about is Aaron Rodgers, and So right now, Aaron Rodgers is leading the MVP race. I've seen his stats and numbers. He's have the best statistical stats of most of the quarterbacks this season. He is rated top five in Pro Football Focus, and on top of that, he has the number one seed in the NFC, leading in the NFL. But right now, he's going through some controversy right now because a MVP voter, which is part of the media, ripped him the other day because they said they don't like his quote unquote character. They said he was a bad guy. They said that because he's not vaccinated, he lied about being vaccinated, and a whole bunch of other stuff. And when I was reading into that, I just kind of laughed a little bit because I'm like, when did winning an MVP has to do with your character or what you decide to do off the field? As long as it's not illegal or anything suspicious or bad, that should have no bearing on what how you should win the MVP. If he has the best numbers and he put his team in the best position to win games and he's the number one seed, that should be he should be in the charge for the MVP. Now I understand we have Tom Brady, we have Patrick Mahomes, we have Joe Burrow that's in the MVP race as well. But right now, Aaron Rodgers leads the charge in the MVP race. But when you have a biased MVP voter like that, that's saying that he should I'm not voting. He said I'm definitely not voting for Aaron Rodgers, even though it's clear he's the front runner. I feel like that's unprofessional and he should not be a voter.
So here's my thoughts, right? If you don't want to vote for the guy, that's perfectly fine. Say I don't want to vote for this guy. End it there. Don't say I'm not voting for this guy because he is not vaccinated. He decided he wanted to lie about this, that, and third. Like, yo, you are losing credibility. Why? Because you're not, once you, like you just said, you're not voting for this guy because of things that he does off the field. You're voting for this guy because of things that he does on the field. Now, if you're talking about having a good morals race or a man of the year award, then okay, different story.
That's what I'm
But
saying.
you're talking about most valuable player, not most valuable person, most valuable player award. Then, like, yo, guy, come on now. Really? But once again, at the end of the day, it's his decision as to who he wants to vote for as a voter. And if he feels, hey, listen, I'm going to vote for the next person, then that's fine because you might think, stat wise, hey, he's not the best player, to vote for. That's fine. But if you're once again talking about because he ain't get vaccinated and all, listen, you're just ridiculous to me. Like that's beyond retarded for you as a voter
I
to
feel like he
say,
used that as
listen,
an
this is why I'm
excuse.
not voting for him. Yeah, a big time
Sorry to
excuse.
cut you off.
Big.
He's using that as an excuse to say that's another talking point people use to attack Aaron Rodgers. But I feel like
Hmm.
he just doesn't like Aaron Rodgers personally, and I can understand that Aaron Rodgers is not a likable guy. Like I could see that he's smug. He has a smug attitude. He's like he's low key. He's to himself. He doesn't really express himself to the media that well. Like he's not as talkative. He's a little introverted. He's aloof and stuff like that. But if he's being the best player on the field and I'm an MVP voter, I have to vote for who's the best player out there that's helping his team win, regardless of
Correct.
how I feel about the player. There's some NFL players I don't like, but if they're playing great, I have to vote on them just off GP, like just off the merit
Yeah.
that they're playing the
Yeah.
best. Like
That's true.
so,
And I listen. So, I mean, for years, uh, growing up as a Dolphin fan, I hated Tom Brady. I hated with a passion Tom Brady. But then you look at the body of work. Like this
you can't
guy,
deny it.
sh- he shreds every team, and he does it methodically. And it's like, oh my gosh, why am I watching this guy destroy my team? But then I understand the game, and I'm like, this is why I'm watching this guy shred my team and other teams because this man understands how to play the game. So, but me as a voter, if I feel like, yo, you know what, this guy is doing my team dirty. Oh well, this guy is
Exactly.
doing an amazing job as a quarterback and what he's getting paid for. So why not give him the vote that he deserves? It's not that he should get; it's the votes that he deserves. Like that's what's like mind boggling.
They were
But I'm
making
looking at the
jokes.
MVP. Mhm.
They're making jokes about saying that that particular MVP voter was a Bears fan, so that could
Yeah,
play
that's
in
what they said.
effect.
Yeah, that was definitely. I was like, yo, these guys are ridiculous. But I'm looking at the MVP race, right? So the top five in the NFL, right? You got Aaron Rodgers at one. And I'm looking at his stats. I can really see why. Then you got Tom Brady at two. Jonathan Taylor. I'm not gonna lie, he's beasting it. He's
Yeah,
at three. Um, You got Joe Burrow at four, and then you got Cooper Cup at five. That is a long shot. That is a long shot. As a
yeah,
former wide receiver, there's no way. One getting in the MVP, consideration as a receiver, yo, that's tough. But he's not going to win it. And it's going to be
yeah.
very
Unfortunately,
difficult for him to, I mean, he only got one game left. Ain't no way he's gonna win it. When fans over,
yeah,
he has to
yeah,
score six touchdowns for them to say, oh yeah, now let's give it to Cooper Cup. But even still, like I said, he's
exactly.
not gonna win it, unfortunately. But what he did this year was ridiculous.
To be honest, the MVP is more of a quarterback award. Like, I mean, no, like I'm
Yeah.
not saying that I agree that it's a quarterback award, but for the last, I'll say for the last almost since 2013, a quarterback has won the MVP. I think the last player outside of a
Hmm.
quarterback to win MVP was Adrian Peterson. That date back all the way to 2013.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
no, my mistake. That was 2012. He won the MVP. But he had to have an extraordinary season to win that
He
MVP
was
to
the
the
only
point
one
where
on the team.
he literally had to carry his team into playoffs when he was in striking distance of breaking Eric Dickerson's record. That's that's how
Hmm.
he was able to like win the MVP that year. So that just shows you what a wide receiver or running back would have to do to win that award.
Yeah. I mean, listen, at the end of the day, 95% of the time, the quarterback has the ball in his hand.
Yeah,
100% of the time. Why I say that? Because even when they are hiking the ball, they're hiking the ball to the quarterback to then hand the ball off to the running back.
or
So
passing it to the wide
a hundred
receiver.
percent of exactly. So 100% of the offensive, 100% of the time on offense, the quarterback has the ball. Center, then quarterback. So I mean, listen, they are the field generals. They are running the team. So I mean, that's why I say I mean, like I said, look at the list again. You got three quarterbacks, in the top five.
Yeah.
That's the last voting. I think that's the last grouping that's going to be out before they actually make the final decision on who is MVP. But
Even when
I
you look at
mean,
the top
you know,
10, the MVP list of the top 10, majority of them are quarterbacks.
yeah, yeah, and I can definitely tell you got a few that well deserved. They worked their butts off this year. Um, and
Of course, I'm not taking
hats
that
off
away
to
from
them.
them.
But listen, yeah. But I'm looking at the top two once again: Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady. I'm just looking at passer rating. Passer rating for Aaron Rodgers, and as a former high school quarterback slash receiver, I can tell you passer rating means everything. This man, Aaron Rodgers, understand. So as I throw this stat out, I have you understand two things on it, right? So first off, passer rating for Aaron Rodgers, 111.1. Tom Brady, 100.5. Aaron Rodgers had 111.1 passer rating, mainly passing to one receiver. Everybody else were nobodies.
And he only had,
Ridiculous. He really
and he
only
only
had one receiver.
and he only has 4 interceptions.
Four interceptions. That's crazy.
And he missed the
35
game.
touchdowns. to
He missed
four
the game because of COVID.
interceptions.
Yeah, he missed the game because of COVID.
So imagine him not missing that game, right? And Tom Brady playing all 18 games, 17 games. All right, we don't know if he's gonna play tomorrow, right? But he's played all games this entire year, 40 touchdowns. He's only 5 touchdowns away from Tom Brady. 4 interceptions to Tom Brady's 12 interceptions. Granted,
Exactly.
yes, Tom Brady's getting older. Who, yeah, whatever. Nobody cares. You still decide you're gonna put them pads on and play the game. So guess what? Who cares? You playing the game. But
Yeah,
Tom
I hate
Brady,
when they kind
40
of do.
touchdowns.
I hate when they do that. They kind of like
Mhm.
they like what like they want to. They make it seem like Tom Brady's like a 70-year-old man in a walker, still quarterbacking or something like that. Like he could still play. I'm not taking nothing away from him, but they keep saying, "Oh, he's 44 doing it." I get that, and it's great, but like I don't want to hear any excuses when he lose. Say, "Oh, he's 44 years old. What you expect?" You know, like I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear those type of talks.
Nah,
So
because if that's the case, then listen, dude, hang up the pads, like yo, hang up your cleats and go into retirement. But the moment you decide you want to stay, come back another year, yo, play the game. And he's not giving no excuses. He doesn't care about what the media says. He's going in every game and he's playing a
shouldn't.
game as best he knows how. And I mean, listen, that man knows how to play the game. Just being honest. Once again, I hated him for 20 years.
I still hate him.
And 20. Yeah, I still hate him. I still hate him. Heck, he beat my Dolphins again this year. Like that's ridiculous. He needs to stop. He needs to go away. But I'm just thinking about like, yo, this guy knows how to play the game. But I'm just going back to Aaron Rodgers, like with his numbers, like how do you not give this guy the MVP? Like he should be
Exactly. That's what I'm
unanimous.
saying.
At,
And me
like
personally, I'm not
that
really a
that
big fan of Aaron Rodgers like that. I mean, I respect his ability and talent, but I don't like his smug attitude. I don't like how he's condescending, how he carries himself. But his numbers are undeniable. You can't say, "Oh, I'm not voting for him because I don't like him." You come off as
mhm.
unprofessional, immature. Like you're a grown man.
Yeah,
Like come on.
definitely. That is true. But once again, it is what it is because at the end of the day, I'm not playing this game for you to like me as a person. I'm playing this game for you to like me as your team's player, your team's captain. You know, and I'm pretty sure there's people in Green Bay, Wisconsin, those cheeseheads that may not like the way he carries himself as well. But listen, I don't care about what happens off the field. On the field, I need you to win my team a championship. I need you to win
And
the city
that's
a championship.
and regardless of
And
how
as long as you do that, listen,
No, I was just saying, regardless of how Aaron Rodgers acts or how he comes off, as long as he's winning games and putting them in position to potentially win a Super Bowl, they're gonna always love Aaron
mhm.
Rodgers.
Yeah,
Always.
definite, definite. And I mean that's the same for Tom Brady. That's the same for Big Ben. And shout out to Big Ben. He's about to hang it up this year. I hope he
Yeah,
does. Honestly, he needs to
yeah,
go out, on a high because next year we don't know what's gonna happen with this guy. So he needs to just hang up the cleats. Um, but people like that, the city respects them for doing what they do on the field, off the field, whatever. You can do by all means act however you want, but as long as you are able to play the game to the fullest and win me my championship.
yep. And speaking of championships, that's gonna
But I
segue
feel
into
I
our
feel
next
sorry
topic.
for players like what's this guy's name, Baker. Yeesh.
Baker Mayfield. Yeah. We're gonna segue into the next topic on the NFL
Well,
playoff
that
race and
playoff race, right?
yeah, who you think is potentially to like
Oh,
win the Super
trash.
Bowl?
Oh, I thought we were skipping that guy. He was trash. Is he worth us talking?
Baker Mayfield. The only
I
reason
listen.
we could bring
All
him
right,
up right
so
quick
if we're
is
talking side by side, never again. Yeah, yeah, let's do that. Let's give him a little shine because that's all he's worth, and I don't think he's going to make it. So he's gonna be on somebody else's roster next year
yeah,
as a starter. No, no. If he stays in, the only way he can continue to be a starter is if he stays in Cleveland. And that's only because it's like, how do you have this guy and don't bring anybody else in after him to be a starter, right? There's in the draft, I was looking at, who's coming out, next year, draft wise. There isn't really anybody who can come into Cleveland, take over his starting role, and be great.
And that team got a
Or,
lot of talent.
not even not say be great, be good enough. They do.
That,
They
that
do.
team got a lot of
Which is
talent.
unfortunate because it's like you look at the receivers, you look at the running backs, you look at the defense, it's stacked, but then the quarterback can't hold water. Like,
Well, to be fair and be
why are we
devil's
paying
advocate
you?
for to be fair for Baker Mayfield, he is playing hurt. Now, granted that, I mean, he was struggling before the injury as well, but still, he is playing hurt with his shoulder injury. But me personally, I like Baker Mayfield, but I don't see him as the quarterback of the future for the Cleveland Browns, and that's unfortunate because I think he's on his 5th year option with the team. So I don't know. The Cleveland Browns have some decisions to make, either to stick with Baker Mayfield and pay him like another contract deal for possibly 4 or 5 years, or draft somebody. But you're taking a huge risk by drafting a new quarterback and then having to implement him and see how he might do. What you get with Baker Mayfield, what you see with Baker Mayfield is what you get. Now, granted, is he the best quarterback? No. Is he the worst quarterback? No. I think he's average.
No.
He's average. That's to me. That's my personal opinion. I think he's average. He's middle of the road. He's like a top 15 quarterback, but unfortunately, average is not enough to help you win the Super Bowl.
Listen, is he worth a starter's contract?
No, I don't think so. No.
So here's who is in the market for somebody like this guy. Because honestly, once
There's.
again, he's nothing but a role player. He's nothing but a serviceable backup quarterback. And you're talking about 2 games. He's not even. I'm gonna be keep it real on here, right? He is not even Ryan Fitzpatrick. I think Fitzmagic is better than Baker.
Fitzmagic.
I feel Fitzmagic is better than that guy
You can make that
Baker,
case.
and that's
I
listen.
think
That's
I
just
think
my. Mhm.
I look at it this way, right? I think the ballyhoo with Baker Mayfield was because of last year when of course with OBJ had got hurt, and then they started to take off. They finally made the playoffs. Since the last time they was able to beat the Pittsburgh Steelers in the playoff and make it to the next round to play the Kansas City Chiefs, and then they were in striking distance to possibly win that game, and then they lost. Even though I think even though what's the quarterback for the Chiefs again?
Mahomes.
Yeah, Mahomes had got hurt, and like that was the opportunity to possibly beat him and win, and
Mhm.
like possibly like make a push for the playoffs, possibly. But then it didn't happen, and then people were had high expectations for them this particular year with Odell coming back. And then when Odell did come
Mhm.
back and they were struggling, they put the blame. They basically scapegoated Odell as a sacrifice to put the
Mhm.
blame
Of
on
course they
him,
will.
saying he's the reason we're struggling. He's the reason because Baker Mayfield's trying to force targets down his throats, and he's being double coverage, or he's being like high safety at the top and everything, and he's not making plays. He's not making Baker Mayfield look good. So then they release him, and now they're still struggling. So now is what's the excuse? The only common denominator of the situation is Baker Mayfield.
Baker Mayfield. Yeah.
Yeah,
Like, I
so
mean, listen, the moment they got rid of OBJ and they were still the same team, they weren't this explosive team. They should have really started thinking like, dang, maybe it wasn't OBJ. Like, maybe it really was Baker.
yeah,
This guy's not getting the ball to playmakers. And
yeah,
the only reason why we are being explosive is because he's handing the ball off to Kareem Hunt. He's handing the ball
and Nick
off to
Chubb.
Nick Chubb.
Yeah,
And they're doing their thing at running back. But when you're talking about trying to stretch the field and get the ball to, Donovan People Jones or, you know, that's really the
Juice.
only receiver that I mean, Juice, yeah, he's there, but it's like, is he really there? Like, he ain't getting the ball to these receivers who can potentially do something for them. And it's
If
like,
you if you
okay, well, it's not those guys, it's
if you
him.
asking Baker Mayfield to make a play, like 2 minutes left on the clock, and you like he has to drive the ball down the field to win the game. Unfortunately, he can't do that for you. What he
Nah,
can do is try to take care of the football and let the team do what they do. Let the defense get sacks, turnovers, transition that to field goals, score touchdowns, and take care of the football. He could do that. He could be a decent game manager. But when you ask him to make a play to win you the game, he can't do that, unfortunately.
he can't do that. He can't. And listen, you know, his future is obviously in Cleveland's hands. This is not even a situation where his future is in his hand, and where he can determine where he's going to go next. He has to figure out what Cleveland is going to do in regards to either giving him a franchise tag or just saying, "I'm sorry, you got to go" type deal, trade you, whatever. But good luck on his future. Whatever's next for him is next for him. And like I said, I wasn't a Baker fan, just like I wasn't a Johnny Manziel fan. Like
I
those
was
type
neutral on
players, I
Baker.
really don't.
I was neutral on Baker. I'm neutral.
I
I
wasn't a
didn't. I
fan.
didn't.
This guy,
I wasn't a fan of him, but I did wish like some success.
I didn't, and I mean, he just played in a way where it was just like, "Ugh, I don't like your style of play, guy." And then maybe it was because he was just so arrogant and cocky with it, to where it was like, bro, you're not even the best person on the field. Like your center is better than you, and you acting like you the best thing since sliced bread, bro. Like, no, get out of here.
His
Go sit
defense,
on the
his
bench
defensive,
next to the water
his
boy.
defensive, his defensive end, Miles Garrett's better than him position wise.
Exactly, way better than him. And it's like, bro, get out of here. Like, if you can like if you not the running backs, if you can win us some games, then we can talk. But until then, like, I need you to go sit down somewhere and relax, because
And
you're not
another
the
thing, he
you're
needs
not the best
to
guy.
with the he they're biting it with his commercials. Like he's on a commercial on YouTube, on TV, every other like commercial, and it's like wow, like he has a lot of commercials for a quarterback that's not as producing as high as Aaron Rodgers or Patrick Mahomes. Like those
Yeah,
guys, they have
I
to
was
progress. They have
watching.
to go ahead.
I I was listening to something on sports radio locally, and they were talking about how this guy right out the gate, he had all of these commercials and hadn't even started really winning games, but he's in all these commercials, and his focus is on that side of things more than it is on the game. And that's probably what's hurting him, because he
Possibly,
has
yeah.
this outside limelight. That he's needing to feed, and he's not really focusing on the game. And I'm like, man, that makes sense. That I mean, that could be true, because like, yo, if you can see how this guy's playing the game, it's like, oh my gosh, you really trying to showboat. You really trying to like boost your fans and not really boost like your teammates. You're not trying to like really work on that end. You're working on, all right, what's the next commercial I can be in? What's the next endorsement I can earn? And it's like, bruh, is that like, so that's why I said like that's a bit of his arrogance that I didn't like when he was back in Oklahoma. I didn't like it. And I'm like, bro,
I
I
felt
don't
like
the league don't need somebody like you. We
the
already
reason
got
I
enough of
the
them
re,
divas.
the part the yeah the part of the reason where like the lot of the I guess the shine and limelight is on Baker Mayfield because the way he carried himself when he was playing at Oklahoma, he had a big chip on his shoulder. So he felt like he needs to be braggadocious, be bulgarious, be out there, like show like grit, show like bravery, courage, and let people know like yo, I'm not scared. I'm like I could live up to the challenge. I could do this. I could defeat a team. And possibly I just feel like I'm not a man to like count another person's pocket. He's gonna continue doing what he do. If those commercials are helping pay him bills and he's making millions of dollars off it, hey, if you like it, I love it. But once your play on the field is struggling and people are gonna start, they're gonna start looking around. They're gonna be like, what's going on? Why is he not playing up to his standard? Is he not practicing? Is he going through personal issues? Is he distracted from football? And that distraction, is it the commercials? Is it the endorsements? Is he doing movies? Is he whatever is he not 100% all in on football? And that's gonna play a factor in contract talks with the GM, with the owner, when they're looking at it, his play on the field. They're gonna say, are you all in on the Cleveland Browns because you're struggling right now? You're on a contract year and you want us to pay you, but if we pay you all this money, are you going to be 100% in, or are you going to be worse of what you are now?
I
So,
get that. I get that, and like I said, we'll see. I mean, at the end of the day, the season is ending for him. He's not playing
yeah, they're
tomorrow
eliminated.
in
They're
his last
eliminated.
game. So,
Okay.
and he's actually about to undergo his surgery. So his season ended. But I'm just like, man, listen, whatever happens for this guy, listen, good luck. But I just don't see that. I'm hoping, and I know the Dolphins ain't dumb like that to go after somebody like that. But I ain't gonna lie, if the Dolphins ever pick up this guy, I'm no longer a Dolphin fan. No longer. Me and Chris Greer gonna have to have a conversation, like straight up. But it is what it is. But let's
So
talk
on the
playoffs,
next
man. Playoffs
topics,
is
yeah,
right
let's
around the
talk.
corner.
Yeah,
Yeah, let's talk playoffs, man. We got right now the top seed Chiefs just clinched top seed today. They beat
the
Denver.
Broncos. Yeah,
Um so they beat the Broncos and they clinched the top seed in the AFC. So they got home field advantage. They are good. Well, actually no, they clinched the division. They didn't clinch the AFC. Let me correct that. They clinched the division, not the AFC. So they are if Tennessee loses tomorrow, which is highly unlikely because they're playing against the Texans.
yeah.
But if Tennessee loses tomorrow, Chiefs are going to more than likely lock up home field advantage throughout the entire playoffs. And Mahomie and his homies are on his rip right now. And I'm not gonna lie, I think they are going to go back
To the
to
Super
the
Bowl.
Super Bowl. That's just my thoughts. I think they're going back to the Super Bowl.
That's a possible chance. I do see. There is not going to be no, it's not going to be a lock for them to go to the Super Bowl like how it was the previous seasons because of like all the talent that they have to face. I do see the Chargers as potential opponents. The Colts are up there as potential opponents, and other people. So, but yeah, you're right. There's still a chance for them to go back to the Super Bowl. It's just they've already went like back to the Super Bowl almost like three. This will be like the third year in a row going back to the Super Bowl. So that'll be crazy. I never like
Hmm.
seen like 3 years in a row a team go back to the Super Bowl. So that'd be an extraordinary feat for
Yeah,
them.
yeah,
It's unfortunate that
and I
they
mean,
got blown out last year
s-
in the Super Bowl, but it's still a
yeah,
great feat.
yeah. I honestly, I don't. So my thoughts on that Super Bowl last year, I think that was rigged. I think it was
Who is
rigged to the sense like, listen, just think of this, right? So Tom Brady goes to Tampa. Not saying that he can't do it. Not saying that it wouldn't have been something that wouldn't have been able to be done. Because you look at the roster in general, that was a stacked roster. But Tom Brady in Tampa, Super Bowl is in Tampa. Why not make that happen? Why not make Tampa play the Super Bowl in their home city, right? And with Tom Brady, why not give this man another ring before he retires? Like, come on now.
I'm not gonna say it's
I
rigged per
just I
se.
just think that it was all stacked up.
I'm not gonna say it was rigged per se. I looked at it as Tom Patrick Mahomes. I think two or three of his offensive guards were injured. So that played a huge factor into why he struggled in that Super Bowl because he basically had no time to protect, and Tampa Bay has a good front four that could get after the quarterback. So that played a huge part. The defense won that championship, even though Brady played good. The defense is the one like that they're the ones who really dominated the game and made it so lopsided. I feel like if Patrick Mahomes had proper protection, it was able to find his receivers down the field, and he had a decent running game. He could have made it a competition with Tom Brady to potentially win. I'm not gonna say he was automatic; it was a lock for them to win. He could have potentially made it a competition with Tom Brady to win, and he could have possibly usurped Tom Brady as the best quarterback in the NFL right now for the long term future.
For
So
sure, for sure. But like I said, I just think that it was a little sus. But
yeah, it was coincident.
this
Everything
year,
was coincidental. Yeah, it felt
yeah,
coincidental.
man. But this year, honestly, I think the Chiefs are going to be able to. They, all right, so they gonna make it right. So now here's the kicker, right? I think if they play against the Bengals at any point in the playoffs this year, if they play against the Bengals, I'm not gonna lie, they're gonna have a hard time. I don't care about any of these other teams. I think if they play against the Bengals, they are going to have a tough time.
Did the Bengals beat them
I just look
the
at
other
what
the other week?
they beat them this last week, right? But then I also look at the first game that they played against each other. The Bengals held
Mm,
them down. They didn't win, but they put up. They made it tough for them.
they ain't
And
go
you
away.
got to talk
Like
now. Joe Burrow is clicking with Chase as well as Higgins, and Joe Mixon is doing what he got to do out that backfield.
yep,
Now the defense is struggling a bit. They're struggling a bit, still giving up a lot of points. But I think they can do enough, just like they did. Because I mean, to be honest, Pat Mahomes is not as explosive. They're not doing as much. That offense is not as explosive as it has been in the last couple of years.
and the
They're doing
defense
enough
is
to
up and
skate by
down.
certain teams,
The
but
defense there, like
always been up and down the last couple of years. But you just think I think about like what Joe Burrow and them boys are going to be able to bring to the table. I'm not gonna lie. If they make it, if they are playing against the Bengals at any point in the playoffs, that could be their toughest, challenge in the playoffs. Outside of them, honestly, I mean, yes, you got the Titans. That's a tough team, but they not that tough, especially without what's the boy name?
the
King
juggernaut.
Henry. Then
Yeah,
you got
I call him
yeah, they
juggernaut.
ain't that tough.
But he might come.
Yeah,
I heard he's gonna come back
he built
if
like
he comes back.
yeah, they
Watch out if he comes back.
nah, that's for
Hey,
sure. I mean, they say he's coming back. Yeah, they say he's coming back for the playoffs, so we'll see. But I mean, you talking about against like let's say the Bills. The Bills might be a little tough, but not too much. You got the Patriots. I think that's a skate through. Um, Although Mac Jones is playing his butt off, but I still think that's a skate through with the Patriots.
yeah,
The
yeah.
Colts skate through. The Chargers definite skate through. I mean, Herbert is playing, lights out, but I still think that's a skate through against the Chargers. So like I said, honestly, just my thought: the toughest team the Chiefs could play in the playoffs is the Bengals.
Bengals. Yeah, yeah. It's looking that way. Yeah,
Yeah,
but you always gotta be
yeah.
careful about that
But on
crafty
the
Belichick
NFC
and the
side,
Patriots.
that's true. That's true. That's true. But on the
Yeah,
NFC side, man, we got uh, it's for me, it's between the Packers and the
and
Rams.
the
I can't
Bucks.
even give
Oh,
it to the
you
Buccaneers.
don't see the Bucks
I,
get to the.
nah, I can't. Nah, I think they're beatable. I think they're beatable.
I can see that.
They are definitely beatable.
I can see the Packers and Rams in the NFC Super Bowl. My only problem is the Packers, and when they go to the NFC Championship, like how will how will Aaron Rodgers play? Because he's been in four NFC Championship games and he's 1-3. Like that last year when he lost to the
Yeah.
Tampa Bay Bucks, he lost a lot of esteem. Like as like in terms of lore and status wise, when he lost to Tom Brady at Lambeau Field on his home field. So if he's gonna make it to the the NFC Championship, he better win because people are sick and tired of you guys going 13-3, 12-4, etc. And then y'all make it to the NFC Championship, and then nothing, like no Super Bowl. Like Tom, he still has one Super Bowl to this day. And granted, it's hard to win a Super Bowl, but if you want to be seen as a top 10 quarterback or one of the greatest quarterback or be the greatest quarterback, you need to have multiple MVPs, which Aaron Rodgers have, but you also have to have multiple Super Bowls to go along with it too.
No, that's for sure. That's for sure. But like I said, I think NFC wise, um, Packers. I would love to see Chiefs and Rams. I'm not gonna lie. I would love to see a Chiefs and Rams Super Bowl.
The rematch?
I think that is
Oh no, no, not rematch. You said Chiefs or
no,
Rams?
not
Yeah,
rematch. No, Chiefs and Rams, yeah, because that'll be like explosion, explosion all over the place, point wise. Like yo, scoring wise. I mean, that is on the AFC side. I think the Chiefs is the only team that can keep up with the Rams. Bengals
offensively.
maybe.
Yeah,
Um,
offensively.
offensively. And then vice versa. Well, no, yeah, vice versa. Honestly, offensively, I think the only team that could probably keep up with the Chiefs is I mean, Buccaneers probably. Arizona, if they were all healthy. Um, but
Yeah,
I
we don't know
mean, the
what's going on with
Packers, they
Arizona.
don't really have enough offensive threats. Yes, Aaron Rodgers can, you know, yeah, nah, Arizona, that's crazy what's going on with them. But
Yeah, like they just I don't know.
I,
That's
I
the
I
map.
would love to see, like I said, at the end of the day, I would love to see the Rams and Chiefs in the Super Bowl. But like my prediction, Chiefs is taking it this year. Chiefs definitely taking it this year.
Out of all the teams in the NFC and the AFC, I could see the Chiefs make it to the Super Bowl. And when it comes to the NFC, I could potentially see either maybe because I personally like when it like in terms of regular season, I trust like Aaron Rodgers could get you to the playoffs. I just don't trust him in NFC Championship games. So he has to show me that he could potentially break through and make it to a Super Bowl. But outside of the Packers, I could see the either the Rams or the Bucks going to the Super Bowl and playing against the Chiefs.
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie, right now as it sits, Buccaneers is playing against 49ers. Well, you know what? That's if it ended today. So I would say the sixth seed. I don't even know who the sixth seed is right now because if the 49ers lose tomorrow and they're playing against the Rams, which is a high possibility that they lose, um, then you're talking about, and then if the Saints is able to beat the Falcons, Saints is actually moving into the sixth seed.
Yeah.
Um, so it's great. I mean, the Buccaneers, honestly, whether it's the Saints or the 49ers, I see them getting past them. So
Mm,
you're talking about Buccaneers more than likely going to be able to make it to the conference finals again.
yeah.
Um, and the way Tom Brady play,
I
I,
see a Bucks.
yeah,
I could potentially see a Bucks Rams NFC Championship game. I can see that.
and it'd be crazy if it's a Bucks Chiefs rematch.
Oh, that would be real crazy.
I,
Hopefully, the Chiefs
yeah.
are fully healthy, have all their ducks in a row to be able to go up against them. The Bucks don't look as dominant as they were last year. in terms of
Yeah,
defense wise.
yeah.
So I feel like it will be an even playing field and could be a toss up for who would win that. And we'll talk about that when that time comes.
Yeah, that's true. And I mean, one thing, and we already know one person that won't be there with the Bucks this year celebrating whether or not they, make it that far. But your boy AB, that guy there, man. I mean, talk about ending your career. I don't care what anybody says. If dude makes it to another team,
I'll be
that'd be
shocked.
bonkers. Like if somebody else decides to pick this guy up, I'll be shocked. But honestly, I won't put it past a playoff team that needs a receiver to go and
Exactly,
try to pick this
exactly,
guy up. But if
exactly.
he ends up on another team this year, I that'd be crazy. But like, talk about ending your career out with a bang. Like this guy. I mean, so let me get your thoughts on how you think everything went down, and how do you feel with everything and how it all unfolded from that last from Sunday. What's
Okay,
your
so
thoughts on that?
when it comes to my thought, I want to take it back a couple of years ago when I first started seeing, because I started seeing the antics with AB from Pittsburgh, and when that game when they won the playoff game, and AB started recording in the locker room, and the coach was talking about how they're gonna beat the Patriots and stuff like that. That was the first like whoa, like AB mudded it. Then he pulled that stunt against the Las Vegas Raiders when he was complaining about a helmet not showing up to practice meetings,
Hmm.
and then he called the I think the GM or the owner a quote unquote cracker. Then after that, he went to the Patriots, and then when Tom Brady decided to vouch for him and sign him, after that he had a sexual allegation, alleged sexual allegation, and then he got cut from the team. I thought he was done after that. Now he has a second. He had like a third, fourth, fifth chance, and he ended up signing with the Bucks. Last year he was on his best behavior. This year the whole situation just like flipped on his head because he got into is a situation with the coach where apparently he was dealing with an ankle injury, and the coach was telling him to get on the field, and he was telling the coach, I can't. I'm hurt. Like I don't want to risk potentially injuring this ankle even ever further. Now, granted,
Hmm.
on the coach's side, they were losing, and he felt like I'm not going out there to further injure myself, and we're like getting blown out. So it's like, what was the point? Even though they end up winning that game, which looks bad on his part, but at the same time, why not why do all that ridiculousness by throwing your jersey, your gloves, running on the field like a idiot, shaking your hands, doing the peace sign, running to the locker room. If you're gonna leave, just leave. But the way he did it was just so unprofessional, so wild, so Antonio Brown. It was just like wow, bro. Like I couldn't believe like I'm used to seeing him do crazy stuff, but it's like every time he does a new crazier thing, it's just mind-boggling and shocking. Yeah, so what's your thoughts on the situation as regards to that?
Listen, my thoughts is it was my thoughts is that this guy, I'm not gonna lie, he is dealing with something mentally, and he is pushing it off on everything else that is not NFL. Or sorry, he's pushing it on everything that is NFL, right? And it's it's difficult to say that this guy is not, the best at what he does. Um, Hands down, he is one of the best
Yeah, I agree.
receivers in the game. Um, but to put it to only put it on him would be wrong.
Of course.
Why? Because I can tell you, and this is just from my days back in high school, um, and then knowing other athletes, watching these shows where athletes, I mean, where these football players, these high school football players, heck, even little league, these they're put through the gauntlet of week in and week out having to play, having to perform, and if they're injured, still being forced to get out there and perform for not for the benefits of them, but honestly for the benefits of their coaches,
Yeah,
for the benefits of the people that's putting the money in the pockets of either the coaches. Hold on, give me a second.
no problem. You're being forced to play for the
But
benefit of the franchise, the fans,
correct,
loyalty, and all that other like BS talking points that they try to use to like galvanize the players to
correct.
make them play hard all the time.
Yeah, and I'm telling you right now, listen, my high school day, and I had to, it was for me to say, man, listen, I got to walk away from this because, I got injured in practice, hurt my back, and it was still one of those things. My coach told me, yo, can you walk? All right, get back in there.
He might as
And
well
it's
ask
like,
you,
bro,
are you dead?
I just said, bro, exactly.
He might as well
Like
ask you that.
that's crazy. And like and so for me to see that, I can kind of side with AB and say, man, you know what?
Of
I'm
course,
almost certain that they definitely have forced him to, you know, play through injuries. And once again, it's not just AB. You talking about every player in the NFL. You making these big bucks, guess what, buddy? Your body is mine. And I'm going to tell you whether or not you can continue to play. And if I feel like you're not on a stretcher, you are able to play, bro, and get
exactly,
back in the game. And that's tough because once again, you as the man, as the player, you know your body, you know what's hurting you, you know what you are, physically capable of doing. And if you're not, honestly capable of actually going out there and playing, then you know what can you actually do? Because
exactly.
you can't actually go out there and play. You know your body is not able to play another down, but yet
Especially
I'm forced to actually go
no,
ahead.
especially if those quote unquote team doctors are telling you that you're good to play, and you know deep down like your body's telling you no, you can't play.
Yeah,
Because that's the same thing that happened with Kawhi Leonard. The team doctors was telling him that he was good to play, but he got his own personal doctors, and they're telling him different. So you know your body better than anyone else, and if your personal doctors are telling you a different story, but the team doctors are telling you good to play, you can't really take their opinion on it too seriously, because by the end of the day, they're the team doctors. They're going to do what's beneficial for the team, and if that's to get you out there, regardless if you're 100% healthy or not, they don't care. They're getting paid by the team, they're not getting paid by
nah,
you. So
yeah, exactly.
so yeah, that's what I mean. Now granted, I get I get that in terms of potentially getting injured in the long term, trying to play this game as long as you can, but at the same time, it's like AB has so much strikes against him. The media doesn't care. The why is just like, damn, AB did it again. AB is acting up
Yeah,
again. AB's being a fool again. So that's why he's not getting the benefit of the doubt. Even if he might be right in this particular
yeah,
situation, the way he handled it was unprofessional and classless. So
yeah. I think that's what's really making it worse. It's all the extra foolery that he's doing. Like, bruh,
exactly.
I'm not gonna lie, you didn't have to. take your pads off, take your jersey off, and
Yeah, just
throw
leave.
it in the stands, and like, bro, you didn't have to do all that.
Just leave.
Walk your behind to the back, and then do that all in the back. That's fine. But for you to go ahead and just do all that, just to get the attention of everybody, like, bro, you ain't have to do all that.
Yeah, you
That's
do.
why I say, like, mentally, there's something ain't clicking. Something is
They
not
did.
clicking with them all
They
the
did
way.
something. They did say something about possibly CTE, concussions.
CTE, yeah. But I think that's what they're gonna say about any and everything. Like, yo, it's CTE. It's the many different concussions. I mean, there's other people in the league that has gone through, if not the
Way
same
worse.
thing, worse, but ain't acting the same way this dude is acting.
Agreed. Yeah.
And he's wanting that extra bit of excuse so that to his behavior, and it's like, bruh, nah. And I mean, now you got where he's calling out Tom Brady, like,
Exactly.
oh, is he a friend? Oh, he needed me, like they need, like, bruh, what? No,
They
something is wrong with you. Why are you
they
saying
called me in to win the Super Bowl, not the toilet bowl.
the Super? Bro, they did not call you in to win the Super Bowl. They wanted to give you an opportunity. Tom Brady, being a good guy, wanted to give you an opportunity to win another chip.
Yeah.
Tom Brady had receivers. He had
Yep.
Mike Evans, Chris
Yep.
Godwin,
Yep.
Gronk. He had these players, and he
Cameron
said, "You
Brake.
know what? Nah, listen, like, yo, he had these players, but he said, nah, yo, I know there's going to be this opportunity for me to win this, the Super Bowl again.
Yeah.
So why not bring somebody else in and that I know has the skills, the potential to win a Super Bowl, to make it easier not only for myself but make it easy for him,
Yeah.
because I knew we could have did it when I was in New England, which he did,
Exactly.
but unfortunately, you couldn't stick around for the whole year. But listen, I'm good enough to, like, have you on my team, to where, once again, it makes it easier for all of us to win this thing.
And
So
in
for
terms
you
of
to
the,
think like, yo, he called me. Mhm.
no, I was just saying, in terms of how the team was structured, AB, like, if you look at it like it was a cake, for example, AB was the frosting with the cherry on top. But
Yeah,
if you take the cherry and
yeah,
the frosting off, it's still a good cake.
it's still a good cake. Still a good cake. So my thing is like, bro, why are you thinking like he you were the reason why this man, bro, Super Bowl, your stats, you only have 5 catches, 22 yards. Yeah, 5 catches, 22 yards, and a touchdown. Gronk had 2 touchdowns. So clearly you were not the reason why they won the Super Bowl. Gronk had 2 touchdowns, and that defense was the
Yeah.
reason why I won the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So I don't, like, for you to think that, yeah, no, they brought me in to win the Super Bowl, not the toilet bowl. I was the reason why we won, bro. You must be out of your mind.
And then on top of that, he exposed the
AB,
text
go sit
messages.
down.
He exposed the text messages with Tom Brady's trainer and stuff like that. That was unprofessional. That was it. Yeah,
I-
there was no need for that.
It was, and now it would have been okay if the trainer ended up saying something like, "Oh, nah, I'm not gonna give you the money back because I did something for you." Nah, the trainer said, "Hey, I understand and I agree with what you said. So guess what? I'll send you back your money." Why you gotta expose this dude now?
Yeah,
It's not like the
because
man was being dirty with you throughout the entire
exactly.
process. The man just said, I mean, he ain't had the time, the opportunity to do what you wanted him to do. So when you asked him for his money back, he said, "All right, cool, ain't no problem. Here you go."
Yeah,
So,
because he
like, bro,
probably got other
what
client.
is,
He probably
like,
got other
what?
clientele that he could like go to like pay him the adequate money. So it was no problem giving it back to AB. And on top of that, it was like for you to even expose that about
Exactly,
him, you're ruining his business for potential clientele in the future. So I didn't like that.
exactly. I mean, but I don't think that's, yo. If he has one of the best examples of his work in Tom Brady.
Exactly.
So I don't think his work just got jacked, because Tom Brady's 44, and honestly, I feel if he won the Super Bowl this year, he's gonna say, "Hey, listen, bring me back for one more year, just so I can play till I'm 45." Like, yo, I think he's going, like, yo. For
Tom
him
Brady's
to
trying to
have this guy
Tom Brady,
still
Tom Brady, Tom Brady. Sorry to cut you off, but Tom Brady and Gronk were joking about Tom Brady playing till 50.
exactly, and I don't think that's far fetched with
Exactly.
how Tom Brady is playing right now. So I don't know that guy AB man. Like I said, he's definitely killing his career. And
But
I
here's the
don't
thing,
think that
though.
he'll be able to get
He,
another shot at
here, here's the thing, though. He with his numbers and that Super Bowl ring, he's a first ballot Hall of Famer. But damn, his antics and what he do off the field is just so wild. It's like wow.
so now we running into the Terrell Owens situation. Will he get voted in?
I think he's gonna
Because
get
I
voted in,
mean,
but he's gonna take
he
a.
it took it it's gonna take a long time.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Because what To took him what almost 10 years to get voted in or something like that.
It took after he was eligible to be voted, he got voted in the first like the third ballot. Like after the third year, they was like, "Damn,
Right.
we can't hold him out of the Hall of Fame long enough. Like we can't hold it this long. We have to put him in." I think
So
they're gonna do that to
and
AB,
that
but
would have
longer.
been they going it's gonna definitely be longer to the point where he's gonna forget about it. Like, oh yeah, I didn't get voted into a Hall of Fame yet, but it's one of those things like you gotta think about it. Those are things that people are going to be looking at now. Hall of
Yeah,
Fame, like yo, what was your body of work on and off the field?
yeah.
Do we want this on our record for someone who was like you, who where video evidence of this guy throwing things out of a hotel room into a pool or like falsifying,
A vaccination card. I forgot about that.
documents. Like, bro, do we want this as a stigma on our, record or our like? Do we want this disdainment in a Hall of Famer? Like,
Do
I
we want this
don't think
player to
that
represent our Hall of Fame?
I listen. It's gonna be one of those things. Like, it has to be years upon years before they pull that trigger and say, yeah, you know what? Let's just give him what he need, or let's give him what he want because mm, I
I
don't
feel
know,
like
man.
me, my personal
That's
opinion,
gonna be tough.
when he retires, whenever he decides to retire, and then like, because I think you gotta wait like 5 years to be eligible to be in the Hall of
Hmm.
Fame. I think after that, after those 5 years, when like when he finally becomes eligible to go to be inducted to the Hall of Fame, and like maybe 1 or 2 years pass by and he's not inducted, he's gonna go on social media and start complaining and doing the same thing T.O. was doing. But he's gonna
Oh yeah,
he's gonna do it worse what T.O. did. He's gonna take it up a notch. He's gonna like be because he's really transparent. Like he's gonna curse, he's gonna complain, he's gonna whine, he's gonna like really like he's gonna say the NFL's out to get me. He's gonna expose it all. Like T.O. T.O. is a little bit more diplomatic about it. He'll go on shows and he'll keep it a little bit more PC and say how you know these coaches, these players are out to get me, or I feel like the league is taking me. But he's gonna be a little bit more political about it. AB, he's gonna like he's gonna lay it all on the table. So
yeah, and that's gonna be a scary thing. I mean, scary, but at the same time, like scary for the NFL, very entertaining for people like me and you because NFL not gonna want all that. They're not gonna want all that. But me, the media, we gonna want all that. We want to know what's going on the inside. We want to hear all the drama. We want to see all of that. And
yeah.
ooh, I can't wait. I
And
can't wait.
he's a Hall of Fame. He's a bona fide Hall of Famer, regardless of all his off the field antics and whatever he's doing. He's a bona fide Hall of Famer. He has the numbers. He has the Super Bowl championship to show that he deserved to be in the Hall of Fame. But it's just damn, like you keep shooting yourself in the foot by doing all this crazy foolishness.
Yeah, I mean, I just it sucks that once again, his career is going in this direction. But I just think that's just all that's a receiver thing, man. They are definitely divas. Um, and it sucks, but ugh, I hope the
I'm
next group
never.
of receivers, the Justin
Yeah.
Jeffersons, the T.
Yes.
Higgins,
Yes.
the
Cooper
I
Cups.
mean Jamar Chase. I ain't gonna lie. I hope they are not like that.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, nah, you're not gonna get Cooper Cup to act like that. Cooper
Nah.
Cup is an upscale. I am by the books, whatever you want me to do kind of guy. Like
Yes.
he gonna follow the line. I mean, he gonna walk the line without hesitation. Like
That's why I respect wide
and
receivers like.
it's sad to say it this way,
hmm
but
That's why I
it's these
respect wide
black
receivers
receivers,
like
man.
Julio Jones. Yeah, that's why I respect wide receivers like Julio Jones, Megatron, Larry Fitzgerald.
Megatron, yes,
Kept it buttoned up, no off the field issues. They just
yes,
came, play, and went home.
exactly. They did their thing, but you got some of these. I don't even know what to call them, but you got some of these dudes
Divas.
that feel like, yeah,
They're
yeah,
divas.
I mean, they're worse than divas, bro. They're worse than divas, and it's like, dog, seriously, you gotta humble yourself, my guy. Humble
Yeah,
yourself, cause
yeah.
yo, when stuff start to hit the fan, bro, come on now, ain't nobody gonna want to be around you. Ain't nobody gonna want to be
Exactly.
around you.
Exactly. Because the wide receivers like AB, OBJ, Terrell Owens, Chad Johnson, Steve Smith. Like, granted, they
Hmm.
were entertaining at the top of their game, but some of their like off the field or some of them on the field issues that they were doing was just like, damn, like ugh. They were entertaining. We love the
Yeah.
To with the get your popcorn, running to the star, celebrating the
Hmm.
touchdown, celebrating the dances. They made the NFL better and lively that way, but it's just the like dealing with them personally off the field or on the field. I know it was a lot, and AB's no different.
Yeah. No, that listen. No different. No different. And I listen, he has definitely tipped the scale to an all-time high. And it's like, bro,
No doubt.
is this
No doubt.
really what you doing, bro? Is this really what you're doing? But once again, it's one of those things. There's definitely something more going on mentally with this guy that we don't see, and we just only can. I'm not gonna say
Speculate.
judge, but
They're just speculate.
we can only speculate. We can only provide our opinion on what's on the surface, and that's tough. But and when you got somebody like him who does not feel the need to seek that bit of help, it's like, bruh, is there really something wrong with you? Or is it you just wanting to be this diva that don't nobody really want to have around?
Or are you just a crazy
So
person? Like,
I
are you
just,
just a no?
I there's many more weeks to come. Yeah, yeah. Are you just a crazy person? And like I said, there's many more weeks to come and many more things to unfold with his craziness. And
I'd be shocked if he signed with another
we
team.
have yet to see, what's
I'd be shocked.
more to come.
I'd be shocked if he signed
So,
with another team.
so I was reading something like just now. This actually a report that came out 3 hours ago. Um, so he's somebody. It says Antonio Brown allegedly offered spot on a USFL team by former Steelers coach. I can see that happening. Him going to this league just to keep his feet wet and stay in some type of shape
Stay in
and
game
show the
shape.
NFL, hey, listen, I still got it, and somebody's gonna sign me. Somebody want this drama,
Somebody's gonna be
but we'll
desperate.
see. The USFL, the XFL, the AAFFL.
Oh, look like he went out. Back.
Yeah, I'm back on. I'm back on.
All right.
So, um, so yeah, talking about this. What is it?
You said something about
USFL. I mean,
yeah,
just like all
USFL.
those other leagues, I don't think it's gonna last that long.
No.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna last that long. But we'll see. There's, Todd Haley. I guess he gave Antonio an offer. We'll see what he decides to do with that. I don't think he's gonna. He may not even entertain something like that, not knowing
I,
exactly
I
what
don't think so.
the pay is gonna
No.
look like, and all of that, the ins and out of it.
Yeah.
So we'll see. But somebody decided to give him an offer. So,
Antonio Brown is like that really
but
really beautiful
yo,
girl
man, it's
at
uh
the
huh.
school, and it's like no, I'm just saying Antonio Brown's like that really beautiful girl at the school, and it's like she's like really really beautiful, but then when you get to meet her and see her in person, she's just a horrible person, has a nasty attitude, and feel like she could talk to anybody any type of way because she's pretty. That's how AB kind of come off. But that's the whole diva receiver like kind of
Mm.
concept.
So yeah. So let's look at this. Add insult to injury, right? Let's how you want to add insult to injury? So the USFL team, Todd Haley's team, that just offered him a contract, right?
Yeah.
They are located in Tampa.
Wow.
What say this guy decides, you know what? I'm gonna leave the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to go to the Tampa Bay. They're called the Bandits. I'm gonna go to the Tampa Bay Bandits. Wow, that's crazy. I think he would do that just to throw shots. Just to throw shots. That's crazy. I just saw that. I'm just looking at this news report, and I'm seeing the Tampa Bay Bandits are located in Tampa.
I look like you went out again. Sorry about the issues. We're having technical difficulties. Wait till Jeffrey get back. Give me 1 second. We back.
Yep.
All right.
So some of these parts I'm gonna obviously cut out.
Yeah, of
Yeah, I'm gonna
course.
cut them out. So,
Yeah,
um, but yeah, man. So like I said, at the end of the day, AB needs his help, and hopefully he seeks that help and he gets that help because it's already enough where he's I mean he's still young, a young black male in this society to have to deal with certain things, um, and not have anybody to really confide in and provide him the assistance, the help that he needs. So, hopefully he gets the help that he need and can change this thing around. But being a diva, I think is going to always be in his blood. Just I hope he becomes a more humble diva.
I don't see that happening, but hey, anything's possible. I guess I don't see that
Yeah,
at all.
man.
AB.
But man, listen. On that note, man, yeah. But listen, man, this was definitely fun. We are unfortunately out of time. But listen, man, y'all out there in the radio land and YouTube land, y'all stay tuned for the next episode with my boy Elo Speaks. Uh, we definitely got we gonna bring it back. Listen, like I said, sports season goes on and on forever, and we can definitely bring up many different topics, many different sports to talk about. So tune in to another episode that I will soon have with my boy Elo Speaks. Um, but on that note, any final thoughts, Elo?
Uh, yeah, just follow me on my social. Just at Elo Speaks. Follow me on YouTube, Spotify, Google Podcasts. Follow me on Anchor, and follow me on Twitch as well. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, man. Um, Not a problem, my guy. Not a problem. But once again, man, it's your boy Jeffrey, and you have tuned into another episode of Just Talking with Jeffrey. Man, listen, let's have a good, wonderful day, weekend, whatever you want to call it, man. We out here.
Peace.